Okay, so these are the new craft targets. These are data and training targets. I'm going to print off a ton of these, be available on Sniper's Hide for people to buy packs. But I'm going to show you how I'm using these and how it ties into keeping data in terms of quantitative hits and time. This is the introduction video. I'm going to go through uh, a riflecraft positional test, and then we'll look at the target. So I'm going to put this down. There's stickers. You just stick them on. You don't need a staple, which is pretty cool. When I have people do their base assessment, I have them video it because I want to have a timestamp. I don't want to rest. I want you to take all the time that you need, but I want to know how long it takes you from start to the last shot. I'm going to hit start, and I'm going to go shoot.
The movie didn't look like it was playing too much. I'll skip that movie and then what do you call it? X dropped. So I was gonna try to play this movie for you guys and see how that was gonna go. It doesn't seem like it likes the movie too much. Let me try one more time for everybody here. Hang on before I get too far ahead of myself. Let's double check this. And that's good. There we go. My channel. Yep, there we good. All right. Let me see if this movie that I recorded with Chris will play through for you guys. Choose a file. Let me go in. Let me try that. See if it plays.
Okay, so these are the new craft targets. These are data and training targets. I'm going to print off a ton of these, and they'll be available on Sniper's Hide for people to buy packs. But I'll show you how I'm using these and how it ties.
Nah, it doesn't like to play. I'm gonna go look at that somehow different, and we'll see what it is up to. Where's my comments? We should have comments on. And are we even in? We're live there. We're live there. Yeah, I got 6 on. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I was out today. We were out. Actually, Chris and I have been out for a couple days now. Um, doing some stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna say howdy. Howdy to everybody there. All right, I'm up. Yeah, so we were out. I was doing a modern hunter. Wonder if there's a way to put that up. Oh, I'd have to share it probably and then pick a file. Huh, weird. But yeah, I was just doing the modern hunter today. 6.5 PRC. I should go down and get it, seeing how I'm not necessarily live, but 5x5, he's good. But Terminus Apollo Light 6.5 PRC is what I started with as a base platform. Then I went from the Apollo Light to a Bartlett carbon fiber barrel for the 6.5 PRC. I put an MDT brake on it, 4-port, their newest brake. And yeah, it just we were out yesterday and today. Yesterday I changed the scope 3 times. I think it was trying to balance the weight, the look. I had originally had a 4-16 on it. The Zico 4-20 in the 419 felt a little heavy. I think for a hunter, I'm gonna go 2-10. The 4-20 is on the edge of where I wanted it because I got this rifle to right at 12 pounds, 12.1. And that has the carbon fiber barrel, the Apollo Light action, Hunting 26 stock. There's a sling on it and a rifles only sling, a Zeiss 4-25 area 419 mount, 1.5, and then a Mars Envision Mars on top. All of that got me at I wonder if this, let me see if this will do something here. Let me go in. I want to show you guys because it's pretty cool. And I may have to save a copy to device, and then that way there, because I did it in Lightroom and it looks so much better in Lightroom than it does on the computer. So let me do that and save a copy to device, and then I can pull it out. Because I mean, if you guys look at it, she's pretty cool. Modern Hunter right there. That's what we did. She's coming in right at 12 pounds. I overscoped it a bit on purpose. So when you're looking at this, understand I definitely overscoped it a little. I had the weight down quite a bit, and overscoping it meant that I could see a little better. It's a find it, range it, engage it match. So Cameo next week's the 22nd. In 20 days roughly, Cameo is having their Western Hunter Ultimate competition. And they're sort of inviting a lot of people to introduce the Western Hunter Ultimate competition to people. And it's a find it, range it, engage it type event. Now, generally what happens is they have 3 pins in the ground, red, white, and blue. Your red should be within 200 yards, and they're all the same roughly sized target. It's a kill zone target that just scales out a little bit. But red is going to point to your red target. That guy's going to be within 200 yards. You got to find it, impact it. Then the white is going to get a target within 400 yards. And as you come up, these are blind stages. You have about a 25, 30-yard walk from the gate, they call it. There's like a gate you cross, your starting point, to your area where you can shoot. And they rope off an area. Generally speaking, they rope off a pretty large area. And you have 3 choices usually. You'll have a rock or something, a tree of some kind, maybe not very big, it's western, and then the ground. And so where you lay down, how you engage the target becomes a question. As well, it's no gear. Okay? It's rifle, sling, pack. That's it. I mean, binos and chest rigs, but as far as support gear, no game changer, no tripod, right? None of those tools that people use all the time are available. So you just can't use that stuff. And so this is where you're going to come up, cross in, find your targets, your first ones, range it, engage it. Now, a little bit of a trick, because we've looked at this over the years. We've been there, we've used it how they use it, we've used it on our own. We've done it with gear, we've done it without gear. And generally speaking, the trick in this is you're going to put 200 yards on the gun, and the first target, because it's time and hits to move on, right? So you don't clear your time till you get your hits and you move on. And the way that's going to work is you're going to come up and the first target's within 200 yards. So really, you kind of want that hunter 200 yard zero on the rifle. Hold low on the first plate and just roll in, see it, shoot it. Holding a little low on that first plate. Then you're going to transition next plate. Next plate's within 400 yards, right? So you got 200 on the gun already. You're going to hold higher and you're going to just shoot that holding it high. Then the last target, range, and get a number, point of aim, point of impact. Now, as you could tell, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be running the Mars unit on the top, right? Mars right there on top, so I could just point and hit it. So I shouldn't have any big deal. Just should be able to put my reticle on the target, hit the button, get a number, smash it, and go from there. So I was looking at the ammo originally out of this rifle, this barrel action, and the way it was set up just prior. I was shooting the Norma 6.5 PRC 143 load. And just to give you an idea of where, because I have these numbers from Saturday, I'm using my Gravity Ballistics app. I made tracks. So Apollo Hunter here with the 143 Norma, I'm 8-1 to 1,000 yards with the Norma. Apollo Hunter ELDX, right? So I got some ELDX 143 6.5 PRC Hornaday. I'm 6'8" to 1,000 yards. So I'm 6.8 versus 8.1. The Norma, slow node, very accurate. SDs, depending on the rifle, 12 to 18. The SD in the Hornaday is 22. So a little better SD, but it's slow because Norma's a slow node round. Now you could float it. It shoots very good. It's very consistent. Groups with Norma generally are excellent. And you pair a Norma with a Tika, slow with slow. Oh my God, they go really well. They shoot little bitty holes. They're pretty amazing that way. And from there, you can kind of extrapolate. I want to go a little lighter. I want to go a little faster. So the Norma was good and all that. Well, I'm running out. I'm running low on Norma. So I called Roberts up and I said to Chris Roberts, I'm like, hey, I need some of that Norma. Now he can get it, but I got to wait a little bit and I don't have time to wait. So I have some ELDX, Precision Hunter, some I got from Chris and some I ordered some new stuff from CR2 Shooting Supply Cage. And so running that through, I zeroed it up today. I redid the rifle, like I said yesterday. Yesterday was a lot of work on that rifle. I took everything apart, everything back together. Do I like it this way? Do I like it this way? How does this feel? How does that feel? How does the eye box feel? How does the eye box feel? Like I had a bunch of Schmidt and Benders kind of ready to go, but their eye box is so picky with some of those scopes. And I had the 3 to 20, stuff like that, ultra shorts too. And against the Zico and against that Zeiss, there's really not a lot of comparison in how that eye box gives you that really comfortable edge to edge clarity for the scope. So, and this is Zeiss S3. These aren't the Zeiss S5s. I was going to grab the S5 3 to 18. Much bigger, much heavier scope. We got a storm coming in, kind of crazy. So I didn't want to go there because again, I'm playing with weight. I have a 13-pound max. I'm right at 12. So I have my little window and all that. So I want to make sure that I'm not like, doing this weird that way. And it's a light rifle. It's set up good for me. It fits me really well. The biggest key that I found yesterday, I set it on a tripod and it's mount, scope, mount, scope, mount. And I'm moving stuff. Like if you went and looked on that table yesterday, it was crazy how much stuff I had. I was pulling things in and out and in and out and in and out, just trying to get that right sight picture that I wanted where I felt like bang, I was right there. Bang, and I'm right there. And getting that sight picture was not as easy as it seemed. Um, it was I was playing with some heights, playing with some cheeks, getting lined up. I thought it would be a little simpler on that setup, and it really wasn't. It took me a lot more. How does this mount feel? How does this mount feel? How does this mount feel? It took me a lot more of each mount acting a little stranger. I want to see if I could bring that video up. I'm kind of thinking in the background if I bring the video over, if maybe it'll play better. And so we'll see. There it goes. Anyway, but yeah, I was today we went in and before this weather kicked in and the storms came up, great conditions. I mean, it was 60. Now we're gonna have snow and rain again, but it was like, um, my goodness, this video does not want to do anything like that. 15 minutes to transfer it. That's a metric ton of time. Um, but yeah, we were out there, had some really good weather, really good stuff going on. Chris is doing his stuff. We filmed. I was trying to show this to you. We filmed like a almost 10-minute craft drill with Chris, going through a process and talking you with a new target and different things that he's doing. He's driving right now. He may pop on in a little few minutes, but I wanted to jump on regardless of everybody's schedule. I wanted to make sure that I was on and talking to you guys about the last 2 days of shooting, which I'm losing my range in Colorado. They sold it to solar fields. It's going to be 3,000 acres of solar fields, solar property. So I don't know how long I have left, but when my range goes, I think I'm gone. I'm out. I think I'm going to split Colorado myself. But yeah, craziness, man. But I was there Saturday and Kevin rolled up. He's like, I don't know what the timeline is, but it's out. So we'll see. I may be out myself pretty soon. But yeah, so we were working this and then trying to decide cuz I don't really it's the targets aren't much past 600 yards. I don't really need anything crazy. I definitely want to do the hunting traditional chest rig bino, do everything out how it would, but a more modern slant on the rifle, using the laser, using a better scope, all that kind of stuff. And so I was looking for a little bit of a more modern slant. Chris was putting together a Havoc. So I'm not sure if he's going to be using that for the event, but he's shooting a Seekins Havoc is what he was using on Saturday. Today he was doing some 338 stuff. He's got to go and um, shoot a 338 for some people, which is weird. Like it's crazy. So I'll give you like change direction. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Right, squirrel, squirrel. And so I'm gonna squirrel it. So we're shooting 338 at a mile. And actually, this was Saturday, so 1425. Chris is shooting 1425 yards, and he's got new ammo. And it's taken a lot more than I kind of remember. I'm like, "Oh, man, what are you dialing?" And it's like, "How much?" Alright, and so it's like wind and this, and it's like at 1,400, it wasn't doing as well. I mean, and this isn't by any means a tricked out, anything like that, but this wasn't doing as well as you would expect a 338 with 250s to be doing at 1,400. So again, I go into the Connex. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go in and look for this. And I'm like, hey, Chris, I got some 250s here from before. So I have Peterson Spark prior to COVID, 250 grain Sierras loaded up, ready to go. Chris shoots, he gets right on waterline at 1,400 with the Norma 250s. Runs out and it's like, hey, try this. Here you go, 250 Sierras. Dude, pre-COVID, the rounds are 1.5 mils faster at 1425. Think about that. 1.5 mils faster at 1425 yards. Higher, right? It went over the target 1.5 mils. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen? It's like, what the heck is going on with that? That I'm gonna see if my stuff's working. That it's 1,400 like or 1.5 mils more. That's an insane amount. I don't want that one. I want a different one. Oh, here I am live and I'm looking. I want to watch this. All right. Just give me 2 seconds here while I'm talking to you. I want to see because I never really look. Look. Oh, it looks good. Nobody's watching though. It's just me. I'm the only one entertaining me. Um, but yeah, 1.5 mils over the plate at 1425, just switching from pre-COVID to post-COVID ammo. And I'm seeing that. Like the difference is night and day between pre and post-COVID ammo. So that's pretty nuts that stuff like that will happen, that this just 2900 on the post and 2750 on the or pre-COVID 2900, post-COVID 2750. That's where it is. So I'll post it in here. So that's about where it is. It's right around 28. It's between 27 and 28. The SDs and some of that ammo is pretty bad. So it's all over the place. But like 338 got ruined with the 300 grain bullet. One, the 300 was never going fast enough to take advantage of that cartridge. It was too much bullet for the 338. And like when they were shooting 400 or 500 yards across the street in the military and they were punching through a wall, yes, it worked. And that's yeah, they like 250s used to be like 3100. But yeah, and so they used to scream the 250s. And that was the whole thing. And so what happened was you were doing those 300s at 2750. See, they figured out that they can do so much at 2750. Why you see like the Valkyrie came out 2750. Your 6.5 Creedmoor that's out 2750. Your 338 that's out right now 2750. They figured out you can get some really decent close in accuracy at that node for a lot of these cartridges. But then when you go to push them out and maximize the effectiveness of the caliber, it falls apart. And, everybody's saying, I want to look at these at a mile. The 285s are like the right balance. You don't want to go any heavier than a 285 in that 300 in the yeah. Blah, 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 blah. You don't want to go heavier than 285 with a 338 Lapua. That's like the cutoff point. 285 and less for a 338 Lapua Magnum. That's it. I mean, unless you're going to blend the powders and really crank a 300, but the 300s, like I said, that's what killed. So think about this, right? And a little bit. So everybody's Norma now. Even me. I changed a lot of my 338s to the Norma. I shoot more Norma, and even the PRC, the 300 PRC is like a little bit better Win Mag, right? But the Norma, and it's it's like right there. So 338, it started out with the 250s. That's where it was meant to be. 338 Lapua, 250s. Then the wars come into play and they do this 300 grain bullet. And the context for that bullet was most of their urban engagements were within 400 yards or less. Okay. They weren't shooting in the cities much past 400. Well, then you would get the guys that were in a window like behind me, shoot, 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 duck down. And they're concrete, they're the earthen, whatever you want to call the mud hut stuff. It's strong, but not that strong. So a 338 will punch through that stuff. Two shots, you're through it. And so they were using that to basically go, okay, that guy just shot through the window and he ducked down below the windowsill. Just shoot where he is and you'll go through. And so then, then they start talking, oh, I'm shooting so far. I'm shooting, past a mile. Well, yeah, they're up at 10,000 feet. They're in a mountain shooting down and they're lobbing rounds. And so they were getting some range. So now the stories get pushed that the 338 with the 300 grain bullet is the heat. It's the cat's fucking ass. And so everybody's buying 338s, the Savage Axis, and they're buying 300 grain bullets. Um, yeah, you need the 300s you want at 2850. Somebody's asking on their Boone. 2850 is your low point for the 300s for that. So anyway, then everybody starts seeing at a mile and at the distances that the 338 starts getting crappy. And now new solicitations and they switched to the Norma, right? So they go 300 Norma. And originally they wanted the 230 grain burger. So they're like, we're going to do 230 grain burger with the 300 Norma. Well, then that's not working out the way they want because it's on the edge of heavy. And the next thing you know, all the loads have 215s. So the 338 goes to the 300. The 300 Norma comes down to a 215. Same case. It's a 338 case, just neck down to 30 cal. So if you can't push that, what makes you think so? Yeah, they went light on people while telling everybody 300 grain for 338, but really you want to back that back down to a 250. So you don't want to go over or the 285. You push a 285 at 2850. That 2850 is like a magnum node, right? 2750s it's like a gray man. Anything in that 2750 to 2825 ish is like a gray zone. Stuff works, but once conditions get a little tricky, a little colder, a little windier, a little farther, not as much. It's a gray zone. But once you go 2850 and higher, then you're back into the happy spot. And that's where things start to work. That's where things perform as advertised. That's where all of those little situations come in, work out better for everybody. So it's as advertised, I guess is the word I was struggling for. So those things will work as advertised. And so that's what we were seeing with these other calibers. And then, Chris has been shooting this 338 for a project. And then I've been doing the PRC. And then you look at these numbers and you start lining everything up. And it's like, yeah, that's never going to do that. And so it's a well you can. It's not yeah you will. It's well you can. And it's these word games that we see people playing with today that are just different. They're just wrong enough to not play out the way we want them to. And I'm kind of bummed that video. I'm moving it over. I'm gonna try it at the end. I'm bummed that video was skipping and not playing. It's like on a drive attached to my computer and then playing it through the live. Like I don't. I personally think I have this screaming internet, but I personally think there's a issue with something here that doesn't give me the connection that I want. But I'm bummed that video was, but it's almost done now, less than a minute, so I can try to play it. So I'm gonna come in and try to play that video for you all, and let you just go through Chris's craft just to see if it works. I want to see. Been 30 minutes and stuff, so I want to see if Chris's video worked. I got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. So let's see if it skips or if it works for you guys. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to try to pick a file, and I want you guys to watch it and see how this works. All right, see if this plays for me. If it doesn't, I'll stop it right away.
Okay, so these are the new craft targets. These are data and training targets. I'm going to print off a ton of these and they'll be available on Sniper's Hide for people to buy packs. But I'm going to show you how I'm using these and how it ties in to keeping data in terms of quantitative hits and time. This is the introduction video. So we're going to go through a riflecraft positional test, and then we'll look at the target. So I'm going to put this down. They're stickers. You just stick them on. You don't need a stapler, which is pretty cool. When I have people do their baseline assessment, I have them video it because I want to have a timestamp. I don't want it stressed. I want you to take all the time that you need, but I want to know how long it takes you from start to...
Hey, did that... oh, nope. It acted like it froze. Huh. I kind of stopped it there. Let me see. I'll go back. I'll
the last shot. So I'm going to hit start and I'm going to go shoot a craft drill. I'm not trying to haul ass. I'm trying to maintain fundamentals as best as I can, considering. And okay, then we're gonna go to kneeling. Low kneeling. Remember that it's not the position that matters, it's the height. And how much you dick around. Okay, got my bridge. Now I'm gonna go back down, but because I'm gonna do standing again, want to rebuild that position. I'll take two because I'm gonna go back up. You like that hit steel? Yeah, the two shots that are errant from the rest of them, one of them was from this position, so I'm going to be mindful. That was good. Wow, that one was not good. Okay, so because I was able to see all my shots and watch them hit, okay, I got 430 on 440 probably. I'm just gonna say that that's gonna be my no stress, maximum no stress time, because I don't want to go any slower than that. Write that down. I would scrub it on video so we could actually get the splits. That's all I care about, is to have the split. That's why we time it. And then the target is going to have rings where we're going to score, and we're going to have out of 12 shots, this is the score that it's got under the time that we've got, so that we can quantify the stress and the fundamentals. Now, because I was able to watch my shots, there were 3 shots of the 12 that were out of the normal whole group. And because I know those, I'm going to write those down. And if we're watching, we're following through, we're seeing, we're measuring, you should also be able to remember which positions and which shot was the one that had the out group. It was my second standing. It was my second kneeling. And then my third higher kneeling shots were off. And that's on me, right? Because it's fundamentals at 100 yards. But what's important is that I know where they are and I can address those positions. And then I could go back to those and see what happens and what caused that shot, so that I could correct it and bring that group in if I want to. Or I could take the bracket of the total group and say, under these conditions, this is the size target that I'm capable of hitting all the time, and then add stress to see if I can maintain that. That's how it starts. There's going to be follow-ons. We'll do an analysis of the targets, but for now, this is a good starting point.
There you go. So yeah, I'm seeing. So we filmed that on Saturday, and I just threw some color on it today just to see, and brought it over to the computer, and I wanted to see how it worked. Well, earlier I just kind of brought it on a drive and moved it in, and it was plugged into the drive, and it wouldn't play. It was skipping and doing crazy shit, and then locked up the whole thing. Well, now what I'm able to do is I was able to bring it into the laptop, make sure it's on my hard drive, and I just played it through. And luckily, it played through, and we had no issues. It wasn't skipping and doing the weird shit that I had it doing earlier. So that's one of the things. Like, you're watching this on YouTube, a lot of you guys, but this is being simulcast and it's on high TV. So regardless of whether we're talking on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, you can pretty much count that a lot of this is over at the Hyde TV, and it's being simulcast and played there. And that's where you can go also to find the evergreen content and say, hey, I want to watch that video where I missed. I saw they went live. We'll go back and watch it over there, is no problem as well. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm going through. Saturday we were live, and it's just all these little. It's so much coordination with tools and the computers and the cameras and all that stuff. So like Saturday we showed up to the range because it was really nice out. I go live, and like I have power issues, so I have a brick, an Echo Flow, and it was plugged in, but the plug strip was off. Like somehow the plug strip got turned off. So I'm thinking, I got power, grab it, go. I grab it, it's off, it's not charged. It's like there's no power. What the hell, right? So then you go out to the range and I'm struggling for power, and the signal with Starlink taking power, the camera taking power, the computer taking power. So got to fix that. Then the camera had an issue. I'm using a camera that I normally use in here, and that's got an issue. So I got to get a different camera, make sure this is going to run and work. And then the computer part, make sure that's work. So Saturday we were filming and we went live. And what we found on the Saturday live, if you go over to Sniper's Hide, there's two short videos. There's like a 27-minute one and an 18-minute one. And one of them, Chris completely addresses the high mounts and what we're looking at and what we're talking about. And in the other one, we're shooting and talking something else. But it was easy to bring you small chunks and answer questions that way. And as well, within the hide, there's like, hey, ask us a question and we can go in and answer them. People want to know, when is this class happening? When is that class happening? Like right now, we're scheduled. We have a cameo stuff scheduled. If people want to sign up, they can go on the hide and sign up for the cameo classes. And there's a Mark and Frank classes set. There's one for Iowa, the Alaska, Ohio. So Mark and Frank classes that we're taking are being scheduled. All that stuff is happening, all at the same time. And so that coordination becomes a thing of, well, how do I coordinate all this? But yeah, so we were out Saturday doing stuff, and then we ran out today to beat the weather because, like I said, the weather came in pretty hardcore just now, fast and furious. And so we were out this morning beating the weather and looking at these projects and the different things that we're doing. And so that's exactly where we were and what we are going on. Ohio. No, we have a range in Jefferson. Jefferson next to Ashtabula, so Cleveland, 45 minutes east of Cleveland. He hit Ashtabula, dropped down 15 minutes to Jefferson. A guy who worked for Rifles Only. He's an instructor, was one of the instructors I worked with at Rifles Only. He's a law enforcement officer, cop. He has 1,000 yards range in Ohio, and we use his range. I don't use Thunder Valley. But a lot of guys who come there come from Thunder Valley. We do get a lot of Thunder Valley members in the Ohio class. Well, last year we did two. Yeah, Jefferson, man. Jefferson, we're right there in Ashtabula, Jefferson. Matter of fact, we go to these dive bars. There's 80s dive bars right off of 90. And our hotel's right off 90. You go 2 blocks, there's these dive bars we go to and close down the dive bars. Not lately because we're all getting old. And then we're back at the hotel. Well, then you turn right at the dive bar, and right there in Jefferson, there's 1,000 yard range with Amish people on either side, and it's really nice. It's we have a good time at that class. Can get a little bit miragey if it's too warm because it's flat and there's some water, ponds. He has the little small ponds, and so he can be pretty tough mirage there. But otherwise, it's a great range. He has a mover. We do a mover class, because Andrew's got a mover. He's got all that stuff. It's Apex Tactics and Shooting, and he's a LE guy from Wadsworth, Ohio. I think that's the town he works in, is Wadsworth. So there you go. That's where we are in Ohio. Um, Iowa, Ohio, Colorado, all those are on the schedule right now. No, you can buy a membership though. He opens up the range for a really cheap, limited membership where you just show up, get the blessing, and you can use it. And so, but it's not open to the public. It's just a little. It looks like a little piece of property next to the Amish farms, and it's like Amish people with all their stuff. His little driveway with a red barn, and then more Amish people in barns. And so you just turn into that. And then when you get past he has like a big pond. And then when you're past the big pond, he's into the woods, and that's where he shoots. So super cool. Yeah, we like it. We've been going there about 4 or 5 years now. Andrew treats us really well. It's a good alternative for us to Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Mifflin's got that 17-degree angle up to 1,000 yards if you ever shot Mifflin. And it's a pain because where Mifflin is in Pennsylvania, which is it's a good range. It's covered in a way. If it rains, we can get everybody underneath and shoot still. But it's near Penn State. In Penn State, the Holiday Inn Express is like $300 a night. So we end up staying 45 minutes away from the range. Like the other two hotels that are close are really bad. So in order to stay in a decent hotel near Mifflin, we go 45 minutes away to State College. And there we have food and hotels, but a 45-minute ride each way to the range. Well, on top of Mifflin having a 17-degree angle, their staff, I mean, Matt, their range help is awesome. Their admin woman is a little bit mean to us. And yeah, we're being sensitive. But I'm being like, she's a little mean. She's just mean enough. We don't really need to put up with it. You know what I mean? So we, instead of doing State College in Pennsylvania, 2 hours away, you're in Ohio, Jefferson, Ashtabula, and that's where we've been doing the classes, and that's what been getting us a lot of the East Coast fix for people to replace Pennsylvania since Mark had his heart attack and stuff. So that's where we've been, and that's what we've been doing. I kind of thought Chris would jump in. Let me see if he's even home. Let me see. We'll see if he's around. I kind of want to. I still want to do another. I need to do more of this. I don't know why I keep getting knocked off. Oh yeah, we don't. We try to come a little closer to people. I mean, honestly, the best case scenario for people who want to take a class from us and there's not one local is just come to Colorado. The airport is right here. Like I'm 18 minutes from the airport, and then the range is 1 hour from the airport. There's a ton of hotels right there. Some of them are brand new, like just built within the last 4 years. And then it's a 15-minute straight shot to our range. There's food, there's everything right there. So you fly into Colorado, you drive 1 hour, you're at the range 15 minutes, and we control everything. And then you get the wind we have, you get the targets to a mile or more. And, on Sunday, we always open up and say, shoot whatever you want. So, in a way, it's almost better if we don't come local to you to just come here. That's where I'm trying to go. Like I'm backing off, backing off. I'm going to do online stuff. I don't want to be traveling as much. And the idea is to bring things to you electronically, right? Through this process here that you're watching right now. So you can go on a Sniper's Hide. We can have a class and you could just watch it and pay pennies on the dollar. Instead of paying me $1,000, pay me $200, get a class, and then, we can go from there. But yeah, there's a whole lot of options. So anyway, yeah, I mean, that is like, cause we do it too. You know what I mean? Like Mark and I, we did road trips. We travel. I fly up to Alaska. I'm living in a lodge for X amount of days now. Granted, we're not doing anywhere near as many classes in Alaska as I was doing, before, but it's still huge expense to go to Alaska. Then you're going to spend a week up there in the lodge, tons of expense, right? Then we go to Iowa. We're going to drive 8 hours to Iowa because I got to have everything in the car. Then we're gonna get a hotel room that's crappy. So I'm in that crappy hotel with you with crappy food, and so if I can stay in my own bed, if I can teach from here, it is so much better, so much easier, and I'd rather start to bring people out. Now, granted, just talking about the range is probably going away, and they're going to turn it into a solar field. I have between 0 and 5 years to lose it. I don't know. He doesn't even know when they're gonna move in to start ripping it up. So, my range is going. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be leaving Colorado, but who knows? There's options, but I'd rather sleep in my own bed if I could and, when teaching a class, or at least be as close as possible, 'cause a huge, huge hassle. So, yeah, it's a lot of driving, it's a lot of this, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of all of that stuff that is going on. Where did that one? Where is that? Hopefully I didn't just kill something I wasn't supposed to. Anyway, I just killed something. Let's view it. I haven't even looked. Yeah. See, I have to do the other thing I have to do, and they told me is I have to do thumbnails. I don't make no, I don't make like thumbnails, and I have to do titling and thumbnails better. So I think I got to go to AI and ask AI what should be the name. Yeah, a lot of states are. Colorado has Cameo, it's state run. Price in Utah is state run and is beautiful. We did classes in Utah's Price that there are a bunch of western states making full blown range complex. Like the Price Utah has a Hollywood town, like Cameo has the tabletops. It has the LRP out to 2000. It has all the 3D archery. It has the LE. It has the flat deck. It has PRS, NRL, you name it. Cameo out here. It's state run. And same thing with Price. Price is the same way in Utah, except the city around Price is terrible. At least Grand Junction is better. So, I mean, South Dakota sounds great too. I would move to South Dakota. We're kind of looking at Kansas, but I would totally go South Dakota or Dakota if I can get a piece of place to shoot and not pay money. And I'm like I said, I'm over this state of Colorado is so communist. It is embarrassing what they're doing, as far as that stuff goes. It's just beyond embarrassing. The state, it just clowns itself every day, what it's doing. And so I got to go. And I told it was funny. So Saturday, Kevin rolls in and he tells me he signed over the property to Solar Fields. They're going to do something in 5 years. And they try to. They're passing all kinds of laws, but a lot of it has been stalled. Colorado is Colorado's goal is to make guns illegal. They're actually who they're going after harder right now in this session is the gun stores. They're trying to shut down so you can't open a gun shop. And so the idea is and they're going to get like they know all of it's unconstitutional, so now they're getting beat back. Like this latest one, they were told like because they're banning everything: handgun, semi-auto handgun to rifle, all the way through. So from handguns to carbine and anything that takes what they're doing, they're banning. And so far, they're saying no bolt action, but they're banning anything that takes a magazine. And they're saying it's because the magazine law isn't being enforced. So they're saying, well, if you won't enforce the magazine ban, which has already been proven illegal, we're going to make it so you can't put the magazine in a gun. Well, then they're like, well, you're going to get nailed. You're going to get nailed. You're going to get nailed. So, in their infinite wisdom, they're going after the gun stores because they can regulate the gun stores without it being a Second Amendment infringement, really. So they're saying, well, business, you don't have a Second Amendment um, protection. So if we take the business out, you can't have a gun. So that's what they're doing in Colorado right now, or they're trying. So we're in a odd limbo because everything they've passed has in other states have already been deemed unconstitutional. Same as California. But because they do this bounce to the court thing, it never gets stamped done. So it's like, that's unconstitutional. Okay, send it back to them. Nope, that's constitutional. You're good. Okay, send it back to them. Nope, that's unconstitutional. Send it back to these guys. No, we think it is constitutional. Send it to these guys. Nope, we're telling you it's not constitutional. Send it back to those guys. And so that's what they're doing, playing ping pong. That's what California's doing. So California's been beat on all of it. But they ping pong the court. Try it again. Nope. Try it again. Nope. Try it again. And so it doesn't work. And that way you can't have it, but it's against the law. Yes. And so hopefully this federal thought that Trump pushed forward, that you can't go against the Constitution even at the state level, hopefully that has some kind of teeth. Otherwise, Colorado's a lost cause like Washington and Oregon. You know what I mean? And even I don't even know how, like, I've been through Washington and Oregon. It's just the enforcement arm is slow, but when they get around to you, you're screwed. So I'm over this. I told Kevin on Saturday I was here because I love my range. I love that piece of property to shoot on. I love the whole situation. So I wasn't leaving the state of Colorado simply because of that range. And then he's like, I'm with you, man. I'm only here because I own property, and now look. So I don't know. I'm ready to bounce. If the range is gone, at least it gives me time to look. But we're bouncing. I'm out of this state. This commie place has to fucking go. This is full blown. Fuck you, commie. Um, and there's no way you can't do anything about it. And even like we have Rocky Mountain gun owners here, like all that gun owners of America, Rocky Mountain gun owner, they're all owned by like the same people. And it's like, what are you doing? And they just, oh, give us money. We're fighting. How? They go to the Capitol, they yell at the politicians, they come home and ask for money. They go to the Capitol, they yell at the politician, they get kicked out for yelling at the politician, they come home and ask for 3 times more money. They go back tomorrow, they yell at the politician, ask for more money. Nothing changes. And I told them the other day, I said, or a couple months ago, I said, you guys are nothing more in this state than controlled opposition. You're asking for money, asking for money. Where is the lawsuits individually to sue the politician for depriving me of my constitutional rights? Sue them as individuals. Like, you're working together, you're conspiring to take my rights from you. And yes, it's all a stage show. And that's when he got so mad. And I told him, I said, you're controlled opposition. And, they act like the militant arm of the NRA. And it's like, nah, you just yell more and ask for more money and you're bolder with your hand out. But what are you doing? The only one I know that's doing anything that I give money to now and I follow anything with is Firearms Coalition Policy, FCP. Those guys go to court. Those guys win in court. And those guys point to it. So Polis is a friggin' piece of shit. Polis is a commie. He tells you he's a libertarian. They're fucking liars. Polis is a commie. Polis is a complete communist. He's doing all of this because they're making bank with the friggin' illegals. Yeah, the NRA's grifters too, man. But Polis is a commie. They're making money. Like some of these guys, like Illinois' guy has like 67 NGOs he controls that he makes USAID money with. Polis, these guys all have NGO shit and they're all getting kickbacks from the NGOs and they're all bringing the illegals in. Those guys got free reign. Meanwhile, they had a law here they tried to pass. It was called Make Gun Shops Extinct. So, like I said, they're going after the gun shops. Like Diane, Mile High already has a shop in Wyoming. This year or last year, they built a shop in Wyoming because of the Colorado commies. If they get shut down, they're bouncing the border. But they've already moved stuff into Wyoming, and there's already a Mile High building in Wyoming because there's no fighting this. And they're going after people like Diane more than anybody else, more than me. Like, I'm in this weird gray spot. I'm over 21, so they did 18 to 20-year-olds, right? And then we have a 3-day wait, which I can't get around that, which in the funny thing, I go in for suppressors. There's no wait on the 3-day for the suppressors. Our suppressor clears, you grab it. You go in to get a gun, you got to wait. And so the 18 to 21s doesn't affect me. The bolt actions don't really, other than it'll do some gas guns. Like you can't get an alien pistol, uh the like, and I think a canic too. Those are illegal, will be illegal if they can get their way, but they haven't gone that far yet because they know they've been losing in other places and it's not looking good. So they're manipulating now. Now they're trying to play the amendment game. Like they originally want to do the FOIA cards and they're talking FOIA cards for us here. And the FOIA card thing was they want a 12-hour class. I'm walking in with my DD-214 and then when they tell me it's not good enough, I'm suing them. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I want to walk in with a DD-214, say, give me my fucking shit. And when they say, no, you got to do 12 hours of hunter safety or 12 hours of this or 12 hours of that, fuck you, I'm going to sue them. And so that's kind of, but that's what Rocky Mountain gun owners should be doing. Rocky Mountain gun owners should have been suing all these people individually, and they're not. So that's the bullshit with a lot of this crap. And anyway, yeah, that was my gun control rant because this state is fucking communist. All right, guys, I thought Chris would jump on. He didn't get home. I'm gonna come on again this week. We'll be going to some different things. I'll pop in, but thank you guys for popping on and being here. We got this project we're working on. Like I said, I thought Chris would be here and I wanted to try that video and I found how that video works now. So thank all you guys for being a part of that. But I'm gonna go grab my dinner really quick, and then if maybe later if I'm gonna try an X or something if I do anything. But appreciate you all for watching. So thanks everyone.